The subject of well-being has been thoroughly presented by our reporters over the years. Some of the stories expose bad practices through misinformation, while others introduce new methods and products to help patients out. We explore some of these past reports in our second segment called Health in Retrospect.
Here we are. Gonna get your shirt on.
The Canadian Lung Association is starting its anti-smoking campaign early by supplying T-shirts to babies born on Weedless Wednesday. They're given in hope the baby won't grow up to be a smoker, but they're also meant to be a reminder to moms about the dangers of smoking during pregnancy. At Lloydminster's Hospital, the head of the maternity ward says smoking can mean smaller babies and increased risks of stillbirth and miscarriage.
Nicotine and carbon monoxide in the cigarettes, when they're smoking, it goes into the bloodstream of the mother and it crosses a placenta barrier and then it goes into the baby's bloodstream. And this uses up all the oxygen, like 40% of the baby's oxygen, and they need that oxygen for growth and development.
As research into the effects of secondhand smoke increases and more public places ban smoking, the pressures to quit mount. The pressure means business for manufacturers of quitting smoking aids. But the only aid recognized by the Addiction Research Foundation of Canada is Nicorette. It's a chewing gum laced with small amounts of nicotine. With or without help, Dr. Ray Rogers says quitting smoking is still as tough as ever and always comes down to willpower.
Count what the cost of smoking, and then count the benefits of giving it up, and then I think apply willpower and realize that you aren't going to stop smoking on the first attempt. Probably it's going to take 3 or 6 attempts.
Gwen Polakowski, Broadcast Center News. Some Lloydminster pharmacies stock steroids. They're used to treat cancer or for multiple sclerosis, but to buy these you must have a prescription. A different sort of steroid is used in athletics, but you can't buy them in a place like World Class Gym in Lloydminster. Selling them without a prescription is illegal. But that doesn't mean you can't get a hold of them. Greg Lightfoot did 4 years ago when he tried the drugs.
You just have to go to a big gym in Edmonton or Calgary and ask somebody who's, like, who the dealer is per se. That's the word you would use as any other drug. And they show you to the proper person, a guy or girl, and you get it. I got stronger in some lifts, but not enough to warrant the health risk or the cost.
Lightfoot found steroids couldn't do any more for him than his genetics would allow, so he didn't take steroids again after his first cycle.
To get a $10 trophy and stick it on and say, oh, look at that, it cost me $500 for the drugs, and I might have taken 5 years off my life because of it, but look at that, isn't that nice? It wasn't worth that to me.
All of what you see around you is common equipment for becoming stronger. And now as Canadians watch the Dublin inquiry, they're seeing that steroids are also now becoming part of that routine. Gwen Polakowski, Broadcast Center News.
Wes Laverty and his wife Doris are used to long trips on the highway.
My whole life was pretty well spent driving.
Wes has chronic kidney failure. To treat the problem, he needs dialysis. For the past 3 years, it's meant going to Saskatoon or Edmonton on a regular basis.
Because there was no facility here to do the hemodialysis.
Doris says the road trips made their days incredibly long.
So we were up around 4:30, maybe a little earlier, and then it's a 3-hour trip to Saskatoon, and he was on dialysis for 4 hours, plus the hooking up and unhooking, and then we had another full 3-hour drive home. So it was about an 11-hour day.
An 11-hour day, 3 times a week, but those days are over. Wes still needs treatment, but he can get it a lot closer to home now.
This is a new dialysis treatment unit, and it's a first for Lloydminster Hospital. It means Wes Laverty and other local people with kidney failure don't have to make those long, exhausting trips to Edmonton or Saskatoon anymore. They can get their treatments right here.
There was a number of people in the community, and including the Lavertys, that were approaching us feeling that there was a need for this kind of a unit in Lloydminster.
The project is a joint venture. The University of Alberta Hospital provides things like staff and supplies, Lloydminster Hospital provides the space and the equipment worth over $40,000. Financing came from the Hospital Foundation, and a fundraising campaign is underway.
We acknowledge the $5,000 contribution from the Board of Credit Union, and we expect to be announcing further contributions over the next few weeks.
It's been less than a month since Wes has come to Lloydminster Hospital for his dialysis treatment, but Doris and him both say it's already made a difference in their lives.
Well, compared to 6 hours driving, now we have about 15 minutes to drive.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Well, I'll catch up on some sleep, I'll tell you what. I was never get enough sleep, for one thing, and I'd like to go around town and visit people, but I couldn't do it then.
Karen Eisler, Health Watch.
The nicotine is on the back, and it's absorbed into the bloodstream, and you change it every 24 hours. You just apply it to the skin and hold it for about 10 seconds until it sticks.
It's called a nicotine patch, and Myrna Hartel's been wearing one for the past 2 weeks. A moderate smoker for 20 years, she wants to kick the habit for good. First, she tried quitting cold turkey without the patch, but that was a disaster.
Okay, I decided to quit on a Wednesday afternoon around coffee time, and I went cold turkey till Monday morning. By Sunday night, it was starting to bother me. I was having some withdrawal symptoms.
Symptoms like heart palpitations and the shakes. She had trouble concentrating and couldn't breathe properly.
So I talked to Dr. Retief when I came in, and he put me on the nicotine patch about noon, and by 3 o'clock I started to settle down.
The nicotine patch is new on the market. Myrna's doctor says it works in 3 stages. You start out wearing a high dosage patch.
So every 24 hours you have to change it for the 14 days. Then you go down to the medium dose, same story, also every day for 14 days. You just change it. Then, okay, if you're still doing good, you feel you can go down to lower dose, you just do it for another 14 days.
And by that time, your nicotine craving should be over.
This will reduce the physiological addiction of smoking. It will reduce eventually the amount of nicotine that the body requires, and thusly help you quit smoking. But you must quit smoking before you take the drug.
You mustn't go into it half-hearted. I mean, if you don't really want to quit, I can't guarantee you it's really going to work.
The patch hasn't been around long enough to tell how effective it really is. Myrna's not even halfway through the program, but she's already convinced that her smoking days are over forever.
I haven't had any desire to smoke.
At all?
None at all.
A lot of people want to stop smoking. There's been such a demand for nicotine patches in Lloydminster and across the country that pharmacists can't keep up the supply. In fact, they've been asked not to start any new patients on the program, and they have no idea when new stock will arrive. Karen Eisler, Health Watch.